He's stalking by helicopter. Flying right here. Here's the fake sun. I'm at building 1800, flying right over me. This is P.O.C. That's LAPD. And you're going to look at the light source that's over me in alignment. That's Susan Martinez, minor children, group stalking in relevant position. The people of the state are monitoring with minor children. Understand how the elements of monitoring are underway, and they're doing it in concert with the people, okay? Honking their horn as they're crossing path, that's a demon that knows that they're being documented. The entity is pacing up here, coming down the hallway. They're all monitoring with LAPD. Okay, so I want to be clear. As far reaching as you see, the light sources, as a matter of documentation, remains at 215 East C Street. None of this is sunlight. This is understanding what is mass surveillance that's underway in the state of California, and what is a highly populated entity that is filled with the spirit of Satan. This is entirely demonic. The light source is nowhere remaining over building 1810 anymore. It's over me while I'm at building 1800, where the light source is directly over my head, as you see. And inside, the entity is maintaining. This is all systematic crossing and paths. So these are demons that while I'm in my apartment, while the entity is aiming engineered light all inside of my apartment, the people of the state are systematically engaging in crossing a path. Okay, just like the demons do on the grounds in this apartment, all they do is walk around or drive around. This is what they're doing on the streets and the highway around the property, and it's a massive sex offense systematically engaged in. Everybody that lives here is going to federal prison for that, but it's ongoing criminal facilitation with those that are surrounding the property engaging in that. Okay, this is a massive sex offense. Demons know what I'm doing. The entity engages in aiming light in all manner of directions so that demons like this can maintain activity around me in relevant position. The entity is maintaining this light source. It's nowhere in comparison, by the way, with, it is currently 4:30 p.m. So as a matter of documentation, the light source is over my head at 507 North Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California. That's Starbucks, okay? And that's during daylight savings time. And I want you to see, while I'm inside of building 1800 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 3, there would be no sheer sky space. It's impossible. That is as a matter of documentation at the Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue. This is the third-party facilitating venue, and the specific environment surrounds me at the Starbucks, where they are engaging in what is monitoring American citizens. Like every other place is underway where it is that I go. The significance of documenting Starbucks is that you need to understand the brands, the companies that are in this country. They are facilitating what is state surveillance that's underway in this country, and the state of California is engaging in that. And not only that, it's demonic at its core. That is what inspires the act of terrorism while following with following with an environment. And that's what you're doing when you're maintaining a light source in its zenith in an entirely different location. This is how I'm able to capture at the same time what is crossing path. He's walking in engineered light. His shadow is appearing in that engineered light that's on the ground, and he is systematically monitoring someone else while not having to talk to them or look at them. But that's also a demon who's in the demonic environment and engaging in what is a 24-hour active criminal surveillance while the LAPD do exactly what just occurred on video, flying directly over me while the light source is directly over me, and doing so on a systematic basis where I'm subject to this 24/7 living at Alvarado Gardens. This is a crime scene. And this is the shared presence of the light source at the same time is identifying the crime scene that is Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue. Specifically at 4:22 p.m. I'm capturing for a prolonged period. I'm in video, and you're looking at the people of the state that are in traffic, just like here, systematically engaging in what is group stalking and monitoring. And while they're just crossing path, they're driving in engineered light because there's no sun that will be over 507 North Euclid Avenue and then also over me here in Los Angeles while I'm literally inside of a specific apartment. This is very precise maintenance of a light source, very specific with regard to its placement. And you have what follows is because that's not the sun. It's not possibly the sun. That's why you document. But it's also not sunlight that they're driving in. And this is how the system surrounds the targeted individual. And it's very demonic. And it lets you know actually everyone's condition. The people of the state documented heavily, vehicle after vehicle after vehicle. And I'll upload another video so that you can witness the demon possessed who engage in systematic state surveillance in the state of California. And while I'm on the sidewalk in Ontario, California, you will see what are lines of engineered light. I've showed this before, but I have a whole body of evidence. But I'll upload another video. You'll see lines of engineered light just streaming by while one vehicle after another, after another, after another. And the light is spanning all the way across the sidewalk into the shade, okay? While vehicles are driving by both both sides of the street. It's absolutely impossible. It's speaking to the focus that you are, while demons are driving in any direction, while they don't have to talk to you or look at you or acknowledge you. Their presence is what is the criminal placement in the path. It's what group stalking is. And it is prefaced by what is the maintenance of an impossible environment. And the people of the state are specifically maintaining that environment. It's not ignorant presence in that environment when you are also stalking in the path with the method of engineered light. That's crossing path, coexisting with what is engineered light. That's touching the target individual, touching all over the surfaces in relevant position to the target individual, which is exactly what you see here at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles, a totally different region. But yet you're being met with what is evidence showing the identical pattern of conduct, and the pattern of conduct consists of each of which are hallmarks. This is demonic patrolling, one vehicle after another. It's one demon after another under the light source. So I want you to see that. And the LAPD is maintaining criminal presence and surveillance while the people of the state are engaging in that. This demon is walking across the street. This is 1810 number 6. He's walking across the street and then he's walking back. He's pacing as well. It's all manner of patrolling. There is no sun that's going to be over Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue. And this is what you need to understand, that Starbucks, many venues that I've documented, many companies that are going to be exposed, engaged in what is placing American citizens under surveillance and then seeking to silence them, engage in criminal acts of obstruction of justice when you are, as an American citizen, enforcing your rights because they're sex offenders and they're engaging in what is psychological torture under the name of Starbucks. They do so with children, documented at Starbucks, just like they're doing so with children sitting out here in relevant position while LAPD is crossing path, okay? Everybody here is going to federal prison. The entity is communicating a threat, and that's how the entity does so. And the Ontario Police Department are under a light source, just like I've already shown, that is in no way remaining anywhere near Alvarado Gardens while LAPD is engaged in an ongoing admission stalking in helicopters and in vehicles with the people of the state who are over and under the age of majority. All 59 units are filled with third parties while all of an entity is listening to me expose it, and the LAPD is going to be disbanded. You're witnessing impunity as they cross paths with the people, and a demon walks in engineered light and his shadow moves on the ground in that engineered light. That's accomplishing monitoring. That's the significance of being in that, okay? It is currently, again, 4:35 p.m. This is the entity following me to what is building 1800. This is the apartment of, again, Chelsea and Kenneth Cummings, who live with minor children, engaging in this criminal system in concert with the LAPD. They are going to federal prison. Wherever it is that they move, the long arm of the federal law is going to find them, and they will be subject to federal prosecution. They engage in a prolonged act of criminal facilitation of the entity engaging in what is psychologically torture, all right, stalking and maintaining a criminal presence in the path. This is the state that's engaged in criminal surveillance in concert with the people on a systematic basis. Living at the crime scene is grounds of federal prison. And wherever it is that they move, they remain a part of the entity. I want to be clear. The entity is the state. The entity is present wherever it is that you go. And you don't cease to be a part of that entity because you move away. And nor does your criminal activity just erase off the record. This is demonic patrolling, and this is what Chelsea and Kenneth Cummings were engaged in for a prolonged period, including the sex offense, which, as you see, is engaged in by the people of the state. All right, engaging in what is monitoring conduct, the maintenance of the specific environment, the creation of any sort of audible activity or light activity while the entity knows that your panties are down, while you're inside of the private space, and engaged in any physically indisposed in any way. All of an entity is aware of that, including the demon possessed who are stalking in helicopters and driving by under the fake sun in an engineered light. That's what LAPD just exhibited, driving by in a vehicle and flying over in a helicopter at 4:37 p.m. And the entity is maintaining the light source after 2 hours from now, as though the sun would ever be present over the same property. Understand what is underway and what's being exposed by what was already documented and by what the, let me be clear, the Ontario Police Department, as I'm reminding you about what was documented on June 16, 2022. I'm jumping around with regard to the significance of the placement of the light source because of the nature of the evidence. Remember, you're understanding the environment that the pattern of conduct is occurring in. That's how you're recognizing it. It's an unnatural environment, and all of this is during daylight savings time. All right, so the entity's group stalking at 215 East C Street during daylight savings time. The light source is present at that venue where they engaged in criminal summoning and kidnapping while criminal surveillance was underway, stalking day and night in helicopters, and then arriving, monitoring at that venue at 215 East C Street, where, by the way, there's not going to be any sun over Alvarado Gardens. The same light source where the entity's stalking by helicopter and crossing path in vehicles, communicating a threat while they're all placing you under surveillance and you're documenting it. All right, that's going toward the federal prosecution and the disbanding of the Ontario Police Department. And the Los Angeles Police Department is going to face the same. But you're understanding the venues that they're in and how they are engaging in what is literally providing probative value for what was already exposed about the predecessors. Again, the Fontana Police Department. There's a light source remaining over the Fontana Lewis Library right now. The entity engaging in what is criminal summoning, stalking at the 7-Eleven where the Fontana Police Department are in relevant position. That's not the sun that's over them at the 7-Eleven. Also, because it remains here, visible till the end of the day. So what was that? That was over them at 2:47 in the afternoon on April 29, 2022. What is over the Ontario Police Department hovering above my head, replete with what is stalking in a helicopter, that which is psychologically tormenting while they are with a straight face engaging in an act of a threat to kidnap, engaging in kidnapping, exercising fictitious authority while you are engaged in criminal surveillance for which there is no lawful basis for your exercising of any power. These are actors who are going to be removed not only from their position and law enforcement permanently, but they're going to federal prison. And that's the significance of what I'm documenting today and what I'm juxtaposing with what the entity was doing on June 16, 2022, and at what is Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue at the same exact time. It is currently 4:39 p.m. and this is P.O.C. Should pay attention. These are underage actors engaging in what is criminal presence in the path, acting with law enforcement who flew over by helicopter and cross path in a state vehicle. That was the entity that was Los Angeles Police Department. Or actually, I can run the video back. I'm recording it right now because it might have been the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, but it was a black and white. It was the state acting directly. You're not driving by. You're group stalking in this specific environment. Okay, you already know that you're looking at what is the targeted light inside of my apartment. You're not doing anything other than stalking and doing so with knowledge of what's being exposed about you, especially when you're flying for 47 minutes in relevant position in the specific environment in a helicopter. A very well documented POC. The people of the state are engaging in this criminal act with the those under the age of majority. All right, and that's what you're witnessing. Again, this is Susanna Martinez, who's going to federal prison, engaging in what is the contribution to the corruption delinquency of minors while they're engaging in that federal offense also with this corrupt law enforcement agency. Remember all of that which is underway, what you're analyzing when you're witnessing the POC. It is currently, again, clear that those third parties, they're old enough to know what they're doing. She's going to be prosecuted as a group stalker, and that's going on her criminal record. She's engaging in the sex offense. She's engaging in terrorism. She's engaging in what is the act of the federal offense of group stalking an American citizen. All right, you don't have to be over the age of majority to be prosecuted for that. But the fact that she's engaging in it with her parent, their parent's going to federal prison, and she's going to be prosecuted as a group stalker, placed on the list maintained by the Department of Justice as engaging in state surveillance with the people of the state, ongoing patrolling conduct, all right, underway. And this is the property where the entity is rising the sun in alignment to my living room at 6:48 in the morning. This is POC.